Hey, good afternoon, Trondheim friends. Welcome to this week's edition of Patio Ponderings. I'm Pastor Sue, and I'm so glad you decided to join me. It's a beautiful day. We're closing in on 80 degrees. It's sunny. We got a light breeze going, and I've got us facing away from the church, because what I'm thinking about this week is the part of the story that sends the disciples out into the world. And it's a big deal. So if you were here on Sunday, the story we had is the disciples who are locked in a room for fear of the Jewish authorities. It is the day of resurrection, but they haven't quite come to believe and understand the fullness of that. And Jesus appears in the midst of the disciples and speaks a word of peace. Now, it is in this speaking of the word of peace that Jesus also sends them. So let's hear these verses. Jesus said to them, "Peace be with you. As the Father sent me, so I am sending you." And then he breathed on them and said, "Receive the Holy Spirit." What an incredible call on our lives. What an incredible responsibility to be sent out into the world to live and move and be like Jesus in the world. Now, of course, we do this with the presence of the Holy Spirit. And yet, there's a good deal of responsibility and even authority in this call, which we hear even more so in the next verse, when Jesus says, "If you forgive anyone their sins, they are forgiven. If you don't forgive them, they aren't forgive them." That feels like a lot, doesn't it? Like kind of a weighty assignment. So, if we are living and moving in the way that Jesus does in the world, and we look at how Jesus was able to forgive, it not only seems weighty, it seems unattainable. As humans, we struggle often to forgive. So how do we be in the world as Jesus followers with this incredible responsibility to do forgiveness like Jesus did, or not? What does that even mean? What does that look like? So I think it's really helpful with this to think about what sin is. And then we can talk about what forgiveness of sin is in the Gospel of John. So in John's Gospel, if you have been following, we know that to have faith in Jesus, to believe in Jesus, is all about relationship. It's about being in relationship with Jesus, and therefore we are in loving relationship with our neighbor. So to turn that around then and to think about what sin is, it would be the opposite. When we are not in relationship with Jesus, or in right relationship with Jesus or our neighbor. So then if we think about, well, what does forgiveness mean in a context where we think about relationship, and sin being either the absence of relationship or being in a relationship that's not a loving relationship. I think that means then for other people, or for us to kind of look at forgiveness for other people as tending relationships. That to forgive them is to enter into relationship, to nourish that relationship, to give them the support they need to be in relationship with Jesus, and then to be in relationship with each other. To withhold that forgiveness then is to withhold our support for their relationship with Jesus or with each other. So it's all in relational terms, and that's just maybe one way to kind of look at that. So what do you think? How do you hear this, that as disciples, as followers of Jesus, we have the responsibility and the authority to forgive or not forgive sin? As always, I'd love to hear what you have to say. Enjoy this beautiful day. I think we're going to get another Minnesota roller coaster of a weekend weather-wise, but I hope to see you on Sunday. Have a great day. Bye.